to help. Become a foster parent not only creates a positive ripple effect in a child's life, it can improve our entire community. That's the foster effect. To learn more, go to azdcs.gov/foster effect. That's azdcs.gov/foster effect. This message is brought to you by the Arizona Department of Child Safety. Make the most out of summer with a local Arizona getaway at Hilton Phoenix Resort at the Peak. The Hilton Phoenix Resort is offering an exclusive local discount of 20% off your staycation. All suite accommodations. Bring your family and enjoy the 4-acre water park. Full-service spa and fitness center. Arizona residents get up to 20% off the best available rates. Go to HiltonPhoenixResortAtThePeak.com to book your stay. Proof of residence required.
If you're trying to get through your daily activities and you're noticing you can't because you're focusing more on your pain than being able to enjoy the moment, those are the patients.
QC Kinetics.
What we're doing at QC Kinetics is offering treatments that help with joint preservation. We use cutting-edge technology in our in-house lab to harness your body's natural healing powers and target the areas where you need them the most.
These are regenerative, non-surgical treatments, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader, delivering lasting relief to tens of thousands of patients.
What we do know is that the sooner we start treatment, the sooner you'll see relief.
So don't wait another minute. See if you're a good candidate for these non-surgical treatments for joint pain. The consultation is completely free.
Call QC Kinetics, 602-691-6641. That's 602-691-6641. 602-691-6641.
Looking to sell your home? Hi, I'm Andrew the Home Buyer, and I love making it easy to sell your house. I'll personally come and give you a cash offer the same day we meet, and I'll beat any other offer. It really is that easy to sell your home, and no need to clean or fix anything. I'll buy it in as-is condition. Call me, Andrew the Homebuyer, today to get your same-day cash offer. Visit AndrewTheHomebuyer.com.
One study found that half of all clients are unhappy with their lawyer. The number one complaint, a total lack of communication.
That's why we survey our clients and know over 97% are happy. Do your research. Call the husband and wife law team first.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
Not going too great as we sit here for the Arizona Diamondbacks on a getaway day, finishing up their series with the Atlanta Braves. But it was a good night last night. That plus more on the Suns' hiring of Jordan Ott and an email from the owner of the team, Matt Ishbia. All of that on the Thursday edition of the lunch break right here on KDUS AM 1060, always streaming on the KDUS AM 1060 app, and you can watch the program over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. Producer Evan is behind the glass, 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. Chris Schubert with you for the next 2 hours. And I will say, I felt confident today. I woke up this morning. The Diamondbacks had won 3 in a row with their big win last night. They had won the series against the Braves. I decided to dust off a shirt that I had bought a couple of weeks ago that I was ready to wear on the air today. I've had it. I've worn it around the house, but haven't worn it on air because the team hadn't been playing great. I got myself the long sleeve New City Connect teal shirt. It's nice. It's cozy.
It's a nice color.
It's a great color. I love it. I when I saw it in the store, I'm like, I've got to have it. I thought today, after the big win last night, it was going to be our main story today. Getaway day today. Thought they had a chance to go for the sweep. It's not going that great. So I feel a little weird, but you know what? It's a good shirt. I like it. And with the way that they played last night, certainly deserving of rocking the Serpientes teal shirt today on a Thursday. Losing 7-3 right now in the finale of this series against the Braves. We'll keep you updated on if they're able to make a comeback. But where I want to start today's program is I want to go back to last night, because while the results today may be what they were or what they are, last night's result was in the balance, and I think Torey Lovullo rolled the dice and did something pretty important.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
The Diamondbacks picked up a win pitcher's duel between Merrill Kelly and Chris Sale. They win the game 2-1, the final score. And they win by walking the tightrope. A real circus act in the 8th and 9th inning for the Diamondbacks last night, with Justin Martinez being at the center of it. Martinez first called in the 8th inning to work out of a jam, does so via a strikeout, is amped up on the mound. Just a huge adrenaline dump after getting that huge strikeout to keep the game right where it was. And then we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, and you have Justin Martinez out there. So decision point number 1 for Torey Lovullo is I'm going to stick with my guy. I'm going to go to him for a multi-out save, a multi-inning save. This isn't just your traditional 9th inning, 3 up, 3 down. I'm asking you for 3 outs. He asked for a little bit more last night. And let's face it, the command was not there in the 9th inning. I think the first 5 or 6 batters that J Mart faced in the 9th inning, he got to a 3-ball count with all of them. Did not have the command that we saw in the 8th inning. Didn't have the sharpness that we come to expect with Justin Martinez. Those command issues that we worry about with him when it comes to being the closer were an issue. But they gave him all of the runway in the world, and there were probably multiple times last night where you thought, go get him. Anybody else is better than this version of Justin Martinez. But Torey Lovullo made a choice last night. He rolled the dice like he was at the craps table, trying to make sure he doesn't roll a 7. And he rolled the dice, and the bet paid off. And here is the bet that he made. Because he has 2 choices in that spot last night. He can stick with Justin Martinez, who, let's face it, in the 9th inning, did not have it. So he would have been well within his rights as the manager of this team to go to that bullpen and ask Juan Murillo or anybody else that he had available to get those final couple of outs. Justin Martinez didn't have it. This is your young closer. This is the guy that you've been bringing along slowly this season because of some injuries that have plagued him, some fatigue. You want to take it careful with him. You don't want to overwork him. He had thrown a ton of pitches. Well within your right to pull the plug right then and there. That was option number 1. Option number 2 was to stick with your guy. Because let's face it, even a diminished version of Justin Martinez may be more trustworthy than the rest of that bullpen. And that is the bet that Torey made. He rolled the dice, and it paid off because J Mart got out of that jam. Being a closer in baseball is 70% confident, 30% skill, 65-35. That is a confidence role. The stuff, everybody in baseball nowadays has the stuff. Everybody has a fastball that's 97 plus in an MLB bullpen. Everybody throws a sinker now. Everybody throws a sweeper. Everybody has the out pitch. Everybody's got the stuff. But the person that gets put into that role, the person that gets asked to be not just any high leverage reliever, but the high leverage reliever of a team needs the confidence. They have to have the makeup. Not everybody could work out of that self-inflicted jam the way Justin Martinez did last night for this team. And so what you get, not only do you get the victory, not only do you get the series win over the Braves last night, but you know what you also get with that? You gave your closer the confidence that he needed. And I wonder, it's not working that way today as the Diamondbacks trail 7-3. But long-term, big picture, I wonder if this is the spark that this club needed. I wonder if this is the spark that Justin Martinez needed, and that we are going to see him be the J-Mart that we know and love. The guy that throws a sinker 101 miles an hour, has that deadly splitter that has hitters absolutely fooled, and the confidence to throw any pitch in any spot and execute at the highest level. If that doesn't work out, not only do you lose the game, but you may lose the confidence of your closer. you more than likely lose the confidence of your closer. But what you do in that spot is you say, listen, tomorrow can be tomorrow. I want to win this game today. I want to show trust in my players. I want to show trust in my closer. He's in this role for a reason. He deserves a little bit of runway to try to get himself out of this mess. And you saw, watching the game last night, Torey didn't flinch. There was never, at least me watching the game, never saw him even consider going out there and getting Justin Martinez. This game was going to be on J Mart either way. He was either going to be the one who gave it up, or he was going to be the one who got the save last night. And I thought at certain points of the season, you have to make these kind of choices. You have to be willing to play the high wire act and know that it might burn you. And I think Torey rolled the dice last night. It paid off. And I think we are going to see that elite version of Justin Martinez, because now he knows my manager's confident in me. My teammates are confident in me, and I got through that jam last night. I put myself in that mess, but I got myself out of that mess. And so a huge roll of the dice last night, but I think a very important roll of the dice for Torey Lovullo and the Diamondbacks.
I've been really critical of Torey, especially recently, given the struggles. I thought last night was his best managed game. And you can see it more, obviously, in 2-1 baseball games. And we had talked about, you had sent me a text about maybe using Beeks and doing that. But no, I thought he was awesome last night, got into the jam, went to your closer, then held through him and knew this is our guy. This team is going to live and die by Justin Martinez. And the old saying, you dance with who brought you. He's going to be the reason you're going to fix these problems with the bullpen. Understand that. And last night, I think he showed the whole world, listen, we have confidence in our best arm.
I don't know what the conversation would have been like today from us. I can try to pretend what it would have been if he gave that game up in the ninth inning. I never once, watching the ninth inning, thought to myself, you got to bring somebody else in. And I think that says more about the rest of the bullpen than it does about Justin Martinez. But I think it also says a little about Justin Martinez is that I trust him in that spot. I want to see him try to work through that spot, because if he gives it up, there are going to be people out there that would have said today, well, you saw the warning signs, all the 3-ball counts. He hit a batter. He couldn't get an out. It was a mess. He was giving the game away. In real time, we were watching him give the game away. How did you not see it? That would have been the conversation today, at least in some pockets of D-backs land. But instead, it's not, because he trusted his guy, and his guy executed. J-Mart executed perfectly after he allowed that run to score. He got the outs that he needed, finished off a 5-out save. And again, on a night where you get excellent starting pitching once again, another night in which you get 7 innings from your starter. Gallen and Kelly combined for 14 innings with 1 earned run allowed. We saw a Chris Sale, Merrill Kelly pitcher's duel. Carried a no-hitter into the 6th inning last night. Was absolutely dominant. You pass it off to the bullpen. You can't let that game slip away. And so you ask Justin Martinez to get you a 5-out save. And the moment you go to J Mart in the 8th, you know you're giving him the 9th, and it's basically hold on for dear life. He's either going to win it or lose it himself. There's nobody out there in that bullpen. I don't need to see Juan Murillo. I don't even need to see Jalen Beeks. Shelby Miller worked 3 of the last 4 days. He was not available to try to save you. This was going to live or die, that game, that result, on Justin Martinez. I loved what Torey did. I love the conviction in which he did it. And you love it that it paid off. You loved that you now have some more confidence as your closer. You're going to walk a little taller today if you're Justin Martinez, because you got out of that jam and your manager didn't even flinch. He trusted you. Those are those little things that you can do as a manager that, for all those out there who want to fire Torey today or fire Torey all throughout the season, these are the little things that make you go, are you sure? I thought that was a very important decision last night made by Torey Lovullo, and it paid off in a big way. Huge credit to Merrill Kelly, by the way. I know we talked about the 7 innings, the 6 innings, or 6+ of no-hit baseball. Took a no-hitter into the 6th last night. Was excellent. Just across the board, you got the pitching that you've needed the last 2 days, and no surprise that you get the pitching from Gallen and from Kelly, you win baseball games. Today, you're not getting the pitching. The score is 9-3. Not surprised. As this rotation goes, this team is going to go.
That's what I was just about to say, right? That's also, Merrill Kelly gave you you can't lose a start like that.
No.
It's knowing that too, right? Part of it is knowing we can't lose a start like that, and knowing, listen, I'm a big Brandon Pfaadt fan, and I've been on the air and on the record of saying I really trust Brandon Pfaadt. He's been struggling.
Last 2 starts have not been good.
He's been struggling, and that ERA has come up. I understand. You got to steal the win last night.
Mm-hmm.
You got to steal the Chris Sale start.
And it's not like Chris Sale wasn't pitching well on the other side.
No, he's pitching great.
6 innings, 10 strikeouts. He's got his ERA below 3. I mean, that was a true pitcher's duel last night between those two pitchers. It was great to watch. It was so enjoyable to watch those two guys go back and forth and match 0 for 0 for most of the game.
Nice quick game too.
It was quick. What was the final runtime on it? I can tell you. I have that information somewhere handy. It was a nice quick 2 hours and 47 minutes.
Yeah,
under 3 hours, in and out.
Love it.
Now, we had a rain delay at the start of the game, so
we did.
That knocked it off by about an hour. Knocked the game back by about an hour. But a great job by Merrill Kelly last night. 7 innings, 1 hit allowed. To your point, you cannot lose starts like that, because those, just like we're positioning this game as you win this game, what it does for the confidence of Justin Martinez. You lose a game like that last night, you're unable to get runs across the board. You lose a start where Merrill Kelly gives you 7 innings and only allows the 1 hit. And now your confidence is shattered because you got excellence from your rotation and you were unable to do anything with it. And so that's the fine line that you walk for the Diamondbacks. It was a very important win last night to lock up the series dub, losing right now 9-3 in the latter stages of this one against the Braves. We'll have more on the Diamondbacks a little bit later on in the program. Speaking of the Diamondbacks, you can listen for your chance on the KDUS AM 1060 app or streaming on KDUS1060.com for your chance to win 4 tickets to the Diamondbacks against the San Diego Padres on Sunday, June 15th at Chase Field. Get your tickets at dbacks.com/SGT. Name a better way to spend Father's Day? We'll wait. Spend a day with Dad at Chase Field and get them the Father's Day polo shirt. Only the first 15,000 dads will receive one. And like we always say, not included in the contest is the polo. You got to beat everybody else to the ballpark to get the polo shirt. We've got your tickets, but you got to beat everybody else there. You have to be one of the first 15,000 dads to get your hands on the Father's Day polo shirt. Want to hear from you today on the program. 480-864-1060 is the phone number. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream as well. When we come back, yesterday, tried to be very optimistic about Jordan Ott being the next head coach of the Phoenix Suns. Shortly after we got off the air, an email potentially has changed everything. That's next on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Hey listeners, Vince DeLisio with the Varsity Sports Show. Tune in this Saturday and every Saturday through the summer as we feature the best in Arizona. We'll feature some interesting segments and some things we'll have fun with. We'll hear from administrators throughout the summer talking about what their summer plans are. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll have an enjoyable ride all summer long on the Varsity Sports Show, Saturday mornings, 9 to 11 on AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Phoenix. Footprint Center, Saturday, August 2nd. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit Shinedown.com.
Hey, D-backs fan, did you know milk is one of the most requested but least donated items at food banks? Together, we can change that. On June 14th, D-backs pitcher Merrill Kelly will be at the Fry's on 20th Street in Highland from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. for the 1,000-gallon challenge milk donation drive. Stop by, donate a gallon, meet Merrill Kelly, and make a difference. Join Arizona milk producers, Fry's, and the D-backs to help fill fridges and fuel families. Learn more at arizonamilk.org.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
If there is a more thankless and worse job in all sports than coaching the New York Knicks, it's just not coming to me. Don't believe me? Ask Tom Thibodeau, who just led them somewhere they had not been in a quarter of a century. And what did that get him? Bleep canned. That's what? Man, this guy deserved better. A hell of a lot better. He deserved at least another year after making the Knicks matter once again for the first time in forever. And he deserved another year, given he had them 2 games away from a trip to the NBA Finals. Management says the move was made because the team needed, quote, a new voice. Really? Because your best player, Jalen Brunson, backed the coach publicly, and so did Josh Hart. And as far as him not playing his bench, can you blame him? His bench was garbage, and so is doing this guy dirty. Management was clearly sick of this dude, and they believe they have a superior option in mind. They better, because Thibodeau had them where they had not been in decades, and he played a huge part in rebuilding a dead and lifeless franchise. I'm Jim Rome.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Back here on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you. Appreciate you all being here today on the Thursday edition of the program. Yesterday, we had some news to react to in the form of a brand new head coach for the Phoenix Suns. Jordan Ott will be the man on the sidelines, courtside for the Suns for the next 3-4 seasons, it looks like. That's the reported length of the deal for Jordan Ott. And I think yesterday, I tried to take a very glass half full approach. Normally, I skew more towards the glass being half empty. I was more optimistic yesterday. Who Jordan Ott is as a coach, and we'll get more into that as the show progresses, changed my opinion, and Devin Booker putting his seal of approval on this also played a role in me taking a more optimistic, not a full-blown, this is a slam dunk, totally on board, but a more optimistic approach to the hiring of Jordan Ott and not just defaulting into, you hired a Michigan State guy. I'm going to see right through that for what it is. The fix was in from the get-go. This was a predetermined outcome, and this is just a continuation of Matt Ishbia just wanting to be surrounded with people he is comfortable with instead of being uncomfortable. That is the approach that I took yesterday. And I said that the side of the equation that most Suns fans were on of thinking the fix was in, thinking this was a terrible hire, being upset about the way the Suns are being run right now. Way more proof on your side of the equation. I don't have a whole lot of proof on my end to be as optimistic as I was. And it did not take us long for you to have more proof on your side and for me to question what I was thinking in the first place by being optimistic yesterday. I first saw this from Gerald Bourguet over of PHNX on gophnx.com. But an email Matt Ishbia reportedly sent out on Wednesday in the wake of hiring Jordan Ott. And before we get into some of the direct quotes from the email, let me just say, top line, 30,000-foot view, this should scare all of us. Every single one of us should be concerned about the contents of this email in regards to where the Suns are right now and where the Suns plan to be going in the future. So Ishbia emailed reportedly the entire Suns basketball operation on Wednesday. According to Gerald Bourguet's reporting, took accountability for not doing enough to get the culture set up, to get this team with the identity. That's why we saw and heard those buzzwords so much from Matt Ishbia, from Brian Gregory in his introductory press conference. And then Matt Ishbia said something that is concerning. He also said something that, let's just say, is not true. Because Matt Ishbia made the claim that he tried, quote, running the typical NBA owner playbook, end quote. What does that playbook look like? Quote, hiring experts, signing checks, and getting out of the way, end quote. He certainly hired experts. Experts like Frank Vogel, experts like Mike Budenholzer, experts like Brian Gregory to be a consultant, hired experts to put together this team. He certainly signed checks. Cannot take that away from him. Highest payroll in the history of the sport, luxury tax, second apron, you name it, the Suns pay it. Brought in big-time players. Spared no expense in pursuit of trying to win a championship when he first got here. But he says that he got out of the way. There's no way that that is true. Within mere minutes, seconds, days, weeks of being the owner of the Phoenix Suns, Kevin Durant was traded to this organization. A matter of moments from the time Matt Ishbia took over, Kevin Durant became a member of the Phoenix Suns. When before that, they couldn't get the deal done. Suns, James Jones wasn't really interested in parting with what Brooklyn was asking for. Matt Ishbia gets here, boom, right away. All those first-round picks to Brooklyn. Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson to Brooklyn. Gone in an instant. That summer, Bradley Beal is brought here in a flash. And Matt Ishbia is making the claim that he followed the typical NBA owner playbook and stayed out of the way. I don't think there's been anything typical about the way Matt Ishbia has run things here so far in his short tenure. The one thing I certainly wouldn't say is that he got out of the way. Now, he is the owner. He is going to be involved. He does need to sign off on things. He is going to share his opinion. There is nothing wrong with any of that. But to make the claim to all of us that you got out of the way and it didn't work, so it requires a new approach, is just, I'm sorry, I can't see how it's true. When the Kevin Durant thing happens moments after you get here. That summer, Bradley Beal is here on this team. You had a role in all of that. You had a role in firing the coaches and bringing on the new coaches. You had a role in getting to the point that we got to right now. And he said that no one was happy with the outcome of running that typical NBA owner playbook. So now what is this going to look like? Well, Ishbia apparently, quote, plans to be, quote, extremely active in the decisions and management. So now we are going to see, because before, trading for Kevin Durant the moment he gets here, acquiring Bradley Beal, changing all of those coaches, going through all of the coaches since he's gotten here, that was Matt Ishbia staying out of the way. That was him hanging out on the sidelines and letting the experts, letting the basketball people do basketball things. So now we're going to see a different version. We're going to see a more hands-on Matt Ishbia. Producer Evan, my memory sometimes eludes me, but you were here around the time when Matt Ishbia had that press conference at the end of the season. You were around when James Jones and Josh Bartelstein spoke to the media. Remember what they told us? No, Matt's not involved.
He's not involved, and change is coming.
Change is coming, and he lets the basketball people do basketball things, and that's the way it's going to be moving forward.
And I want to exactly say, I just wasn't the quote from Josh Bartelstein that he is not involved, but is very willing to back us financially. That was the quote.
Said he's not in there breaking down film. He's not in there suggesting who to draft. He's not in there doing all those things. He lets the basketball people do basketball things. And the message from all of us, the takeaway from that is that that's how things are going to continue to be. They weren't saying that at the time as a negative. They weren't saying it as he needs to be more involved. They were doing it to refute everybody out there who says that Matt is too involved. And so now we're going to go to another level. Because now we're going to see an extremely active Matt Ishbia. And this is where all of the people yesterday into today worrying about Jordan Ott being the hire and all of this talk of where's my drop?
The alignment.
All this talk of everybody being on the same page. This is where you're right. This is where today you get to take the victory lap. Because for those of you who thought that this is all about Matt Ishbia just getting people that he's comfortable with, getting people that are just going to tell him what he wants to hear, and he's going to be able to run them over and do things his way, you were right. You are correct. There is no other way to look at all of this. Matt Ishbia was out of the way previously, and now we're going to see an extremely active version of Matt Ishbia. Let me tell you something, everybody. I don't want to see that version of Matt Ishbia. That version scares me because if that version is hiring his buddy in Brian Gregory and then by extension hiring a coach with Michigan State ties and everybody's just talking the same language and speaking the same tone and direction and rowing the boat in the same direction, but there's no counter opinion, we've got a problem. See, on the surface, being aligned,
the alignment,
having everybody on the same page, from your coach up to your GM, up to your owner, would be a welcomed sight. In a vacuum, we would love that. You can't row a boat out on the lake if one person is rowing opposite of everybody else. You'll just spin in circles. You'll never get anywhere. There is immense organizational value in everybody being on the same page. But here's the problem. If you don't have the counter opinion, if you don't have somebody in the room that is willing to play devil's advocate and provide a different context, then you're never going to maybe see the other side of the coin or maybe uncover something that you weren't thinking about previously that could help you become a better organization. And the other reason why the alignment bothers a lot of people is they don't trust Matt Ishbia. Because let's face it, Matt is saying that he got out of the way. I'm sorry, I don't agree. It's just my opinion. I just don't agree. I don't agree that what we saw his first couple of years of being an owner, I would line up with the phrase, he was out of the way. In fact, I would make the case that he was very involved, that Kevin Durant trade set us on a collision course to where we sit today. And so now we are going to see a more hands-on owner,
the alignment.
With all of this new alignment, everybody speaking the same language, everybody on the same page, everybody rowing the boat in the same direction. On one hand, I welcome that consistency throughout the organization. On the other hand, it petrifies me because will somebody stand up and say, no, we can't do it that way. That way is wrong. We need to do it this way. Or is it going to be a bunch of people that just want to tell Matt Ishbia exactly what he wants to hear?
The age-old question is how many yes men are in the building.
And with this, see, yesterday, I tried to make the case to all of you that that's not what was going on here. That Jordan Ott was qualified, maybe not as qualified as others, but qualified to get this job. And the Michigan State thing, while a problem, doesn't have to be the be-all, end-all. It could work out, and we could forget about it. That's the case that I made to you yesterday. But now that I hear that Matt Ishbia plans to be extremely active in the decisions and the management of the basketball team, how else am I supposed to look at it as you picked people and you hired people that you could run over? that you picked people and you hired people that aren't going to stand in your way when you want to just zig instead of zagging, and you want to draft this player, or you want to sign that player, or you want to continue to trade for this star or that star? Have you really learned? You said you learned. You said you're going to do things differently. Are you, though? And if you are doing them differently, is it the type of different that we want to see? That's the other wrinkle here. This may be different. It may actually be different from what Matt Ishbia was doing before. That doesn't necessarily equate to it being a good thing. So that email came out yesterday, or the reporting around the email came out yesterday, and I got to tell you, it scares me. It scares me that what we saw in the past, apparently, at least to Matt Ishbia, wasn't him being involved. And so now he is going to be more hands-on. He is going to be more involved. And you know what? When you hire a GM that has no experience, but you have ties to from Michigan State, and then you hire a coach who, yes, has experience, but is not as qualified as the other candidates, and he also has the ties to Michigan State, it just reeks. It stinks that you are putting figureheads in place, placeholders in there that aren't actually going to. There's a difference between being on the same page, but having a respectful discourse where you can have a difference of opinions and you can figure out what the right course is moving forward. The other version is you have a setup where Matt Ishbia is in charge, and I said this in the morning meeting. I'll say it here now. I wonder if Matt Ishbia thought he could do it, if he could be the coach, GM, and owner all at the same time. That's the feeling I have after seeing some of these quotes.
The old Jackie Moon.
Just do everything myself. And basically, he's probably going to be doing that anyway with the people that he's hired. So all of my optimism from yesterday, you can just throw it in the trash can. Just gone. Doesn't exist anymore. 480-864-1060 is the phone number. Want to hear from you today on all of this. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream as well. When we come back, we'll give you an update on how things are going in Atlanta between the Braves and the Diamondbacks. And we'll also share this. When we get to the end of May, where do the Diamondbacks need to sit in order to keep themselves out of being a seller? That's next, the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and on the KTUS 1060 app.
Feeling uneasy about your financial future? You need a partner that helps lighten the load. Welcome to Global Credit Union. It means early payday, your paycheck up to 3 days early with direct deposit, accounts with no NSF fees, and a mobile app with tools to help you manage your family budget. At Global, we take member care seriously with branches near you and a 24/7 U.S.-based call center staffed by real people. Join us at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union.
Brian Adams, Roll with the Punches Tour 2025. A night full of hits, live at PHX Arena, Saturday, November 15th. With special guest Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
I'm Mark.
And I'm Colina. We've purchased 2 Fulton homes in the last 7 years. We would never buy anywhere but Fulton homes.
We actually tried other builders, looked at them, and nothing compares to Fulton quality. We're repeat builders with Fulton. It's been an amazing process, and we would never go anywhere else after experiencing it. The process working with the Fulton team was great. They cared. We got updates, and you could just tell how much they were excited, almost as much as we are. Fulton is so good at the homes they build. The quality you get is just really unmatched. They continue to care about us as a client, even though we've now finished the sale. I admired their communities because they were always a step above. The amount of landscaping, the way it was always groomed. They add the features that you want to be outside, you want to be in the community. And that matters to us. We want to be outside, not just in the home. And all the amenities are just amazing. We would buy Fulton Homes again in a heartbeat. I don't think we'd consider anybody else.
Fulton Homes. You're proud to own, we're proud to build.
Hey,
Hey Arizona, Tom Chambers here. I've learned that great teams are built by hard work, ethics, and perseverance. That's exactly what you get with Right Way Roofing. Right Way Roofing is a third-generation roofing company that has built trust in our community through their commitment to excellence. They use the toughest, most durable materials to handle Arizona's extreme weather. Take it from me, Tom Chambers. When it comes to your roof, choose the team that delivers excellence, because there's only one way, the right way.
We're Right Way Roofing and we do it right. We'll always keep you watertight.
Hi, Luis Gonzalez here. Want to bet? Feel the thrill of Casino Arizona with 1,400 of the hottest slots and nonstop table game action. We make winners, no experience necessary. Join us for the best bingo in the valley with daily sessions. Indulge in all-you-can-eat Eagles Buffet or enjoy fine dining experience at the award-winning Choya Steakhouse. Enjoy top-notch local entertainment, tribute bands, and viewing parties at CAZ Sports Bar, just off the 101 in McKellips. Casino Arizona, uniquely Arizona.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Here on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you. Jam-packed Thursday edition. We're keeping an eye on the Diamondbacks, who trail in the 8th inning right now. Something to monitor. Josh Naylor left this game. Diamondbacks were losing, but they were within striking distance when he did leave, and it looked like he was dealing with something throughout the course of the game. So we'll keep an eye on that, as it looks like the Diamondbacks will drop the finale of this series to fall to 30-32, but a successful trip to Atlanta, where they will take 2 out of 3. Looked good last night, looked good the night prior, got the starting pitching over the last 2 nights, did not get the starting pitching today from Brandon Pfaadt, who we said earlier this week, not super concerned about what we saw on Saturday, that it was just a blip. Doesn't necessarily feel like it is just a blip right now. Ball's getting hit extremely hard off of Brandon Pfaadt, and when it gets hit hard, it's going a long way. And for the second straight outing, it was not a good day at the office for Brandon Pfaadt. So we'll keep an eye on that. One of the questions that we have been kicking around in the morning meeting is this topic of being a buyer or seller at the trade deadline in regards to the Arizona Diamondbacks. And truthfully, in sports and in baseball in particular, the worst place you can be is the in-between. You want to definitively be a buyer. You want to definitively be a seller. You want it easy to know what camp you fall into, because if you're a tweener, it just makes things really complicated, because you're guessing a lot of the time on what you think your team's going to be. You're guessing on what you think your actual needs are as a team. And they're educated guesses, but I'd rather have some known quantities. The Colorado Rockies, they know. They are sellers at the deadline. The Dodgers, the Mets, the Cubs, those teams know they are buyers at the trade deadline. The Diamondbacks right now find themselves, at least here as June begins, kind of in the middle. 30-32, if they are to hold on and lose this game, has them 4 games out of a wild card spot in the National League. So where do they need to sit at the end of this month to be away from the sellers conversation? And so we did the math, and they have 22 games remaining in this month after today. And here's who they will play in those 22 games. They will play 3 at Cincinnati. They will play 3 against the Mariners, 3 against the Padres, 3 at the Blue Jays, 3 at the Rockies, 3 at the White Sox, 3 at home against the Marlins, and they'll finish with 1 game in June. It kicks off a 4-game series with the Giants. One of those games will take place in June. That is 22 games in which 12 of those 22 take place against teams below 500 right now. 3 against Cincinnati, 3 against Colorado, 3 against Chicago, 3 against Miami. 12 of the 22, more than half, are against teams below 500. 9 of the 22 are against teams that are in last place in their division. And they play them back-to-back back-to-back. At Colorado, at Chicago, home against Miami. So a favorable chunk of the calendar for the Arizona Diamondbacks. So where do they need to be? How many wins do they need to stack up? What does this need to look like when we get to the end of June? Is it a certain number of wins, or is it a certain distance back of the wild card race? What's going to make you feel better? Is this a vibes thing? Do you just need to feel differently about the team? They sit 3.5 games back right now. How about this? How about we go to the ultimate extremes, producer Evan? What if this team went 22-0 during this stretch and they didn't gain a single game in the standings? Just go with me for a second. They won all the games. They didn't gain a single game in the standings. They 3.5, 4 games back of a wild card spot. You would feel better about the team. You would feel better about the direction that they're going in. You would say, yeah, this team needs to be a buyer. They've won 22 games in a row, but you're not any better in the standings. So what does it have to look like? Because the other end of the spectrum is also true. They can play absolutely terribly in this 22-game stretch, but so can everybody else around them in the National League, to where they still sit 3.5 games back of a playoff spot. So what does this need to look like? You went bold in the morning meeting. You said, I need 14-8. I need you to win 14 games in this stretch. Now, that's the path you chose. You said, I need you to win a certain number of games to make me feel better. By the way, they had a stretch where they won 14 out of 22. We cheated a little bit. It was 23. They went 14-9 to start the year. So you need this team to look more like the team they were at the start of the season. Plausible.
And by the way, the record is just a number. It's how they look in these games. Are they playing with heart? Do I feel like they're turning a corner in the bullpen and be able to get, big outs towards the end of the game? How are the teams around them playing? Have they gained any ground? I think 14-8, though, realistically, if they lose today, you go 14-8 over these 22 games. That puts you 4 games over 500 by the time you get to July. I think that keeps you in the mix. And the number we had circled at the year was 89 wins. Does 89 wins get you in? It's kind of the marker. 89 to 90 wins.
That's going to be right on the line, I think. It's going to be that 89 is going to be potentially you're out, potentially you're in. I think that's how razor thin it's going to be. John over on YouTube says they've got to go 6-3 against those last place teams, Colorado, Chicago, and Miami. I'll do you one better. I think 7-2 is what they have to do against those teams. I think bare minimum 7-2 is the only acceptable mark there. I think
you need a sweep.
I think you need at least one sweep. I think maybe 2. I'll give you one mulligan. Like, those are the 3 worst teams in baseball. The Chicago White Sox and the Colorado Rockies are the 2 worst teams in baseball. The Marlins are not far behind.
And you've gotten away with not getting a sweep of all these teams you should have swept. You lost the series to Pittsburgh.
So you have to make it
up
somewhere.
You lost the series to Washington twice.
You have to make those games up somewhere, and this is where it is on the calendar. So I'm with you. You put 14 on it. I won't go with a specific number. Here's where I'll tell you. This team has to be playing better baseball. I need to see them go 7-2 in that stretch against Colorado, Chicago, and Miami. And I need them to be no worse off in the standings than they are right now. If they drop games and they don't look good in that stretch, it's sell time, baby. If they play well, they play better, and they've gained ground, they're still right on the outside looking in, I'm in buy mode. Let's try to support this squad. Let's try to get them that missing piece. Maybe we get a starter at the deadline. We add a reliever to help our lagging bullpen. We do those little things to try to push us over the top. It's all going to depend, but this is a soft schedule. Your next 3 up. You continue this road trip. Another team below 500. A team that's behind you in the standings. Go out there and take care of business.
Chris, let me tell you this.
Sure.
Let's say right now they're 3.5 games out of a wild card. Let's say they get to 3. And even 3 by July 1st. You're in buy mode?
You're not in sell mode.
That's 3's a number where it's almost hold tight, but you almost can't do that with where they're at, because you've Gallen, who's a free agent, you've Kelly, who's a free agent, you have Naylor, who's a free agent. It's buy or sell.
It doesn't always have to be, and here's why. With Naylor and Gallen, you can get a comp pick for them if you give them the qualifying offer. So you're not going to lose them for nothing. Kelly, you would lose for nothing, right? No doubt. But Gallen and Naylor, you tack the qualifying offer on them, and if they accepted it and they came back on one-year deals, I think you'd be pretty happy. If they don't, you're getting a comp pick back. So you're not going to lose them for nothing. It's not probably going to be as much as you could get in a trade, but you're not going to lose them for nothing. You're going to get a compensatory pick for them. This is the important thing. You get to July 1 and you are within 3 games. You've moved a little bit or you stay exactly where you're at and you're playing some better baseball. You can take this up to July 31st. You can see out the month. You don't have to get ahead of it. You can see, do we have a great series and another team, the Padres, the Giants, the Braves have a bad series, and then we move up a little bit in the standings. You can play it by ear in the month of July. You have to have a good month of June to set that up.
Right. If you get there at 6 games back,
it's over.
It's over, and you start selling now.
Buy or sell coming up next. 480-864-1060 is the phone number. You can also join us over on the YouTube stream as well. We'll do a little buy or sell to close up hour number 1 here when we get back. It's the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, heart-pounding excitement. Nitro Circus is back. The all-new off-the-rails tour. Gravity-defying thrill seekers and world-class daredevils at the top of their game. FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and everything in between. Experience all new competitions that pit the best against the best in never-been-done showdowns. Nitro Circus. Friday, December 5th. Desert Diamond Arena. Join the action at Ticketmaster.com.
Empty slogans and cute jingles. Lawyers love to act like they care. Do they back it up? Hi, I'm Mark Breyer.
And I'm Alexis Breyer. We're the husband and wife law team. One study found that half of all clients were unhappy with the lawyer they hired. The number one complaint, a total lack of communication.
We take client happiness seriously. That's why we survey all our clients and know that over 97% are happy. Do your research. Call the husband and wife law team first.
Summer Playfest has arrived at Harris Auction Casino. This summer, win your share of $600,000 in prizes with Caesars Rewards. Plus, join us as live bands light up the stage all season long. Then stay and play for less with our buy one, get one half-off hotel rates. So stay, play, and get rewarded all summer during Summer Playfest. Only at Harris Auction Casino. Play for all. You must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700 or 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Visit the Caesars Reward Center for details.
Maybe it's time to expect more from college. More opportunities and fewer barriers. Discover Maricopa Community Colleges, the Valley's most accessible higher education provider. With 10 colleges and more than 600 career and degree programs, we're committed to making college work for you. We provide affordable, high-quality educational opportunities that are accessible to everyone. Discover what makes us different at opportunity.maricopa.edu.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Welcome back in. We got to get right to it. We are way behind the clock here in hour number 1. We went over for like 3 segments in a row. Buy or sell here on a Thursday. It's not a bad thing when you go overtime, but just makes you shorten up a very important segment in buy or sell. Producer Evan, what do you got for us today?
Okay, get right into it. The D-backs are hurting themselves more than they're helping themselves on the base paths and continue to run themselves out of too many.
Yeah,
innings.
you are on a crusade right now. We had the Diamondbacks game on in my office while we were putting together the show. And you're like, Tim Tawa got thrown out stealing a base after he came in as a pinch hitter. And you're like, boy, does this team know how to run the bases? They run out of more. You're screaming at the TV. I'm 2 feet from you. You're screaming at the television about them just running into some mistakes.
They're worse I watch two baseball teams every day.
Yeah.
And they're both so bad at it. It's painful.
It's not Diamondbacks baseball. The Diamondbacks under Torey Lovullo, under Mike Hazen, play good defense. They play clean, fundamental baseball. They don't make silly mistakes. And you've got a team that's 30-32, although I'm giving them a loss in a game that they're not out of yet. They're making some noise in the top of the ninth.
By the way, Lourdes Gurriel, his home run that inning, it looked like off the bat, I was like, that's going 600 feet. It was kind of a wall scraper.
Yeah, that's a weird park down there in Atlanta. The reason why they're 30-32, they're not getting the starting pitching. The bullpen hasn't been very good. They also just haven't played clean baseball. I mean, the Nationals game, Ketel Marte dropping a toss to him at second base, extends the inning, a bunch of runs score. Eugenio Suarez the other night for Zach Gallen almost made that an adventure. By the way, speaking of the Diamondbacks, add another day to the list. Another day without a meltdown. We're up to 5. After this game concludes, we'll be up to 6.
Another day.
What was the take again? I went totally.
The D-backs are running themselves out of too many innings.
I mean, they are. I'll buy it, but it's a product of just who they are as a team right now. They're not doing the little things right. They need to get back to that. Play clean baseball.
Everybody should have a red light except Carroll.
I mean,
Carroll should only have the only green light.
He's been thrown out.
Yeah,
a bunch relative for him.
Yeah,
a bunch this year.
The national media is concerned more about more than just Kyler Murray and Jonathan Gannon when talking about the Cardinals' expectations this year.
So, everything about the national media's pessimism about the Arizona Cardinals is directly related to the quarterback. Full stop. It all goes back to the quarterback. They aren't worried about the defense. They're praising the defense. They're not worried about Marvin Harrison Jr. They expect the year 2 breakout. They love to heap praise on Trey McBride. It's a top 3 tight end. I saw today PFF did a ranking of every team's top quarterback and their top pass catcher. For the Cardinals, they didn't put Marvin Harrison Jr. They put Trey McBride. Like, everybody loves to just heap praise on every piece of this team. Like, a lot of people like Jonathan Gannon. Drew Petzing got head coaching interviews this offseason, right? Interviewed for the Bears gig. You got coaches from this program going other places this offseason for new coaching staffs. All of the criticism, all of the pessimism surrounds Kyler Murray. Sell.
The Suns did themselves a disservice by not interviewing Tom Thibodeau after the Knicks fired him.
Bye. I don't know if he would have taken the job. I don't know if he would have taken the phone call. I do think you did yourself a disservice by not at least talking to him. A guy who maybe is always going to carry the knock of can't win the big one. He's always going to carry the knock of he can take you so far, but can't take you to the top of the mountain. That's fine. The Suns right now need to be invited to the mountain. They need to be able to climb the mountain, okay? We don't even have the pass to park to climb the mountain right now if you're the Phoenix Suns. And you know what he did in Minnesota? You know what he did in Chicago? You know what he did in New York? He got you the parking pass. He parked you at the mountain, and he climbed you almost halfway up. Defense guy, culture setter, no nonsense. Yeah, I would have at least picked up the phone. And maybe they did. I would have at least picked up the phone and called him.
Just see what he has to say, right?
Exactly. Make him say no.
The Thunder are going to win the NBA Finals in 5 games or less.
So we could have just had 4 or 5 because they can't win it in less than 4 games. It needs to be at least 4.
Yeah, 4 or 5 games.
You don't win. They don't hand you the Larry O'Brien.
5 games or less, 4 or 5 games. It's the same amount of words.
Is it? It's just, I don't want to do the math because I think we'll get it wrong, but I don't know if it is. I don't actually know if it is. That's
Both
not the point.
4.
You want me to determine whether or not the Thunder are going to roll over the Indiana Pacers. That's the premise of the buy or sell. Sell. I sell this not because I think Indiana is going to win the series. I don't sell this because I think Indiana is going to take it to 7 games. I sell this because Tyrese Halliburton is not going to allow the Pacers to get embarrassed. They have a good coach. They have a superstar player. I think this goes at least 6 games.
I can't believe they won the last one after he did the choking celebration.
Yeah, you said Knicks in 6, Knicks in 7 the moment he did that.
Yeah, I did. This one's very random, but
okay.
As 2 baseball guys who are on Twitter a lot, I can't stop saying this. The Red Sox are waiting too long to call up Roman Anthony.
So, bye, just to make it clear before we run out of time here. Bye is my take on whether or not Roman Anthony needs to be called up. They just, where they're going to play him, it's a mess there in Boston. Coaches fighting with other teams' coaches. It is a mess there in Boston. I'm not really sure what's going on there. Hour number 1 of the program in the books.
I have no idea what's going on here.
I have no idea what's going on in the Diamondbacks game as well. We'll give you an update on that when we get back. Hour number 2 of the program, KDUS AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Join the party on Saturday, June 7th at 7:30 p.m. as Phoenix Rising takes on Orange County in a night full of color, community, and top-tier professional soccer. Be one of the first fans through the gates and grab a free Phoenix Rising beach towel, perfect for summer and perfect for showing your pride. Tickets start at just $15. Grab yours now at phxrisingfc.com.
Ghost World Tour 2025. Ghost Theatrical Heavy Metal Arena Rock. August 11th, Footprint Center. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Ghost.
When you hear crunch, whine, boing, Alaskan AC will arrive to fix it in less than 24 hours from the first crunch, whine, boing. No matter what kind of crunch, whine, or boing your AC is making, we fix it on your schedule.
That's huge. We guarantee to be there in 24 hours or less, or the repair is free.
We not only get there fast, we polar bear promise we'll get the job done right.
We believe you deserve fresh air free of humidity in every room of your home, and you should never hear crunch, whine, boing. If you do, call Alaskan AC, and we guarantee we'll be there in under 24 hours.
If we don't make it, your repair will be free.
No matter how big the crunch, boing,
or whine.
Wait, I thought I was whine.
You're crunch.
I'm crunch. You're boing.
I don't think I'm boing. Gary's more of a boing than me.
William is crunch.
Schedule now and tell us who boing is. Only at AlaskanAC.com.
We're chatting with our guest, always safety first, 811 Megaphone Man.
Call 811 before you dig.
You never stray from your mission of letting homeowners, landscapers, and excavators know you should always call 811 before you dig.
Call 811.
Call for both small and big jobs. And 2 working days in advance?
811.
Any parting words? And I'm guessing they will be.
Call 811 before you dig.
Brought to you by Southwest Gas.
811.
Attention high schoolers, let's collab this summer with free summer school at Primavera Online. Our summer courses are flexible and only 4 weeks long. Now enrolling for grades 9 to 12 at freesummerschool.com.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
We are back. Hour number 2 of the program. Chris Schubert with you. We are keeping tabs on the Diamondbacks, who started the inning down 10-5 on the road. The tying run is now at second base. It is 10-9 with Eugenio Suarez up. Now, I can't do play-by-play. I'm not allowed to do that. That's against the rules. But we are paying attention. We are monitoring a big comeback from the Diamondbacks. A mere 15 minutes after I gave them the loss when we did the segment of what June needs to look like. But real quick, comeback or not. And then I want to get into something related to Matt Ishbia here at the top of hour number 2. Remember at the start of the show, I said last night could have been a spark for this team, right? Trusting Justin Martinez, giving him that chance to get out of a jam that he created, and then him actually doing it, what it can do to a team. You are seeing a different version of this team lately. You are seeing a team that 2 weeks ago probably rolls over when they're down 10-5. And instead, this team is down 1, down to their last strike right now, but have a chance to tie this game up and made the Braves burn their closer in a game in which they were up 5 runs. So credit to the Diamondbacks for even putting themselves into this situation.
I'm sure producer Evan will keep me updated. I have it on in the TV and here as well. So we will keep you updated on if the Diamondbacks can complete the comeback here today in Atlanta in this series finale. Producer Evan just threw his hands up in the air. Yes, the Diamondbacks now have not only tied the game, it looks like they have just taken the lead. This is an incredible comeback from this team.
A 6-run ninth inning.
A 6-run ninth inning, capped off there by a 2-out, 2-strike double that put the team in front. I've got people from other stations walking in front of my room to throw their hands up as to what is happening. It's the shirt. I wore the shirt today. Look what happened. This is an incredible, incredible performance from this baseball team today. And again, I asked this question. We'll get to
who comes in the ninth.
Well, okay, that's a fantastic question. We'll see what happens there here in a second because now they have a save situation on their hands. But this goes back to what I said 2 weeks ago. Ask yourself this question honestly. 2 weeks ago, do they do this? 2 weeks ago, is this game even a possibility? 2 weeks ago, does this team have the swagger, the confidence, the vibes to do this? No. Now, John brings up an excellent point in the chat because he has now said we are in meltdown territory.
I don't think this is a meltdown. Like, if you blow a 1-run save.
You scored 11 runs and you had a lead in the bottom of the ninth. We would add another game to the list of times the Diamondbacks have scored 11 runs and lost.
Which would now be at 3 for the season?
I think it would be 4.
4 for the season?
I think it would be the 4th time.
Coming into this as a franchise, they had 1.
Coming in
as a franchise,
one time they had lost.
One time they had lost.
They have
11.
done it 3 times already this season, but we won't put out those negative vibes.
First of all, not even important yet.
We got to get to the bottom of the ninth first, you know?
Yeah.
But who closes is an interesting question. Who's up? The broadcast hasn't cut.
You would have to imagine. I mean, not imagine. J-Mart is not available.
I mean, he threw a ton of pitches last night. You asked him for a 5-out save. This is clairvoyant on your part. Didn't you text me last night about not having J-Mart available today?
Yes.
Because of how many he threw last night?
I said not available today. Could he not be available Friday was my initial question.
And now here we are on a day where, see, these are the types of games that if they play out this way for the Diamondbacks and they come back and win, this is how you keep your season alive.
Shelby Miller is up and throwing.
You keep your season alive when you win games like this, games that you're not supposed to win. You're not supposed to win when Brendan Pfaadt pitches the way that he did today. You're not supposed to win this game. You're not supposed to win a game in which you're down 5 runs in the top of the ninth inning. And yet you right now have the lead going into the bottom of the ninth. If they complete this comeback, I would argue this is the best win of the season. We have spent a lot of time. Let's be fair here on the program. We spent a lot of time creating a list of meltdowns. We have spent a lot of time on this program talking about the mistakes that this team has made, the games that they have given away, the chances that they have given away that have stopped them from being the team that we all think they can be. This is one of those games that allows you to feel a little better about what's on this side of the sheet, the meltdowns on this side of the list, because now you have a game on the other side that makes up for one of those meltdowns because you're not supposed to be in this game today. And again, I asked the question aloud to everybody. Would they have been able to do this 2 weeks ago?
No. This is the type of series, this is the type of win that changes how you feel about the season to this point. And listen, I know you're still going to be 1 game under 500, but this is the one you circle and you go, hey, there it is. That's where the season turned.
You look at this whole series that way. A series sweep in which you beat Spencer Strider.
You go to Atlanta.
I mean, think of the way the story gets written if they complete this comeback. You beat Spencer Strider in the first game. You win a pitcher's duel against Chris Sale in the second game. And then you have a huge, massive comeback on the road. Evan, it's getaway day. They've got another series in Cincinnati. This road trip continues. They're down 5 runs. You could have very easily understood them folding up and just packing it in, knowing that they've got to get on a plane after this. They've got to be on a plane for a couple of hours. They've got to fly to Cincinnati. They've got to check into a new hotel room. They've got to then start a 3-game series over the weekend against Cincinnati. You could have easily understood them giving up when this game got out of hand. They didn't do that. They didn't roll over. Now, they've got to complete it, and we're not going to do the play-by-play because we'll get in trouble for doing that. But if they are able to complete this, this is the best series of the year. This is the best game of the year. This is their best win of the season because it changes everything. Instead of being 30-32, they're back to 500 with a win here. they're back to even, and they would have swept an Atlanta Braves team that, let's face it, right now, as things sit in the National League wildcard standings, you're competing with this Braves team. Every win you get against them, you saw it last year how important it was. Having those tiebreakers in your back pocket were critical to the Diamondbacks not making the playoffs last year because other teams had the tiebreaker over them.
Shelby Miller is going to pitch the ninth.
Yeah, and makes sense. Didn't pitch him last night. Justin Martinez certainly not available. So we will keep an eye on all of this. Producer Evan, I'm going to do something a little unorthodox here, okay? I'm going to go to break now because I want us to have enough time to talk about the subject that we want to talk about, that we were going to start the show with. So we'll have a bit of a longer segment here on the other side, but we'll take a timeout. We're keeping an eye on the Diamondbacks, whether or not they can finish off this comeback. They have made the comeback. They have the lead, but can they finish it off for a victory? So we're keeping an eye on all of that. But when we come back, the Phoenix Suns are leaning into the Spartan way. Is it the right way, or is it just going to be another new leadership model? I'll explain next. The lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Hey listeners, Vince DeLisio with the Varsity Sports Show. Tune in this Saturday and every Saturday through the summer as we feature the best in Arizona. We'll feature some interesting segments and some things we'll have fun with. We'll hear from administrators throughout the summer talking about what their summer plans are. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll have an enjoyable ride all summer long on the Varsity Sports Show, Saturday mornings, 9 to 11 on AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. T&Cs apply.
Nitro Circus is back with the all-new Off the Rails Tour. World-class daredevils and FMX, BMX, Shade Scooter, and more. Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, and never-been-done showdowns. Friday, December 5th, Desert Diamond Arena. Visit Ticketmaster.com.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Fulton Homes is bringing legendary Fulton quality back to the West Valley. Explore 4 exceptional West Valley locations with more standard features and thousands of ways to personalize your home. Find out why people buy Fulton Homes over and over again. Fulton Homes, you're proud to own, we're proud to build.
Ooh, Del Taco? Yep, they got these new boxes that are loaded with my faves.
Big boxes, come on, can I get a Del, yeah?
Del, yeah.
What was that?
Oh, I bring these guys everywhere. Really enhances the experience.
Introducing El Big Boxes from Del Taco. Choose from the $5 Classico, the $7 Mex Faves, and $9 Amerimex box. More food, more flavor, more value. Only at Del Taco.
Del, yeah. Price of participation may vary.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. The NBA Finals tips off tonight in just about every metric: roster depth, regular season record, odds makers. The Oklahoma City Thunder, heavy favorites to bring home the Larry O'Brien Trophy. But if sports history has taught us anything, it's this: the underdog always has a puncher's chance. Joe Namath and the Jets stunned the world in Super Bowl III. The 2004 Pistons took down Shaq and Kobe. Eli Manning and the Giants toppled the undefeated Patriots. In 2011, the Mavericks outclassed Miami's Big Three. All improbable, all unforgettable. Here come the Pacers, a team that wasn't even on many preseason radars, now 4 wins away from winning that. They battled through the East with poise and toughness and depth. They belong here, and they're not just showing up to bow out politely and get nice parting gifts. The Thunder may be favored, but nothing is guaranteed in June. These are the finals. There's no such thing as having no chance. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. If you played pickleball in regular sneakers, you know you can pay the price. They don't cut it. And Todd found this out the hard way. We have this great sponsor, Tyrell. They make the best pickleball shoes. So one day Todd is playing pickleball and he forgot his Tyrell pickleball shoes. Well, you know what happened? he got hurt. He was playing in some fancy different shoes that aren't meant for pickleball, and he learned a lesson. Tyrol has everything you need to keep your feet cool. They're tough. They're lightweight. They're so solid on your feet, and you're going to wear and tear on the court, and they're ready to go. Every detail is built to help you play better. Tyrol pickleball shoes. If you want to play longer, feel better, and stop sliding around in those old sneakers, go to TyrolPickleball.com. You can look like a pro. You can play like a pro. It's Tyrol pickleball shoes. You spell it Tyrol. Tyrol pickleball shoes, the best pickleball shoes, purpose-built for pickleball.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Back here on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060, Chris Schubert with you. The Diamondbacks did it. Completed the comeback. They trailed by 6 runs in the 9th inning, 10-4. They scored 7 runs in the 9th. Shelby Miller, he did walk Matt Olson, but a double play ball to get out of that jam. And the Diamondbacks finish off a sweep of the Atlanta Braves. You go into Atlanta, you beat Spencer Strider, you beat Chris Sale, you make a comeback in the top of the 9th, trailing by 6 runs to complete the sweep to get you back to 500. The win of the year, the series of the year, and the proof that I think we all needed, because while we believed it, we hadn't been seeing a lot of it lately. A baseball team that still has the talent, that still has the ability to go out there and play with the best of the best in the National League. Just kudos to the Arizona Diamondbacks for that comeback in the 9th inning. Just simply sensational to rally the way that they did. Could have very easily folded in the top of the 9th. You're down 6. You're 3 outs away from being able to get out of there. You got the series win. No big deal. You're going to Cincinnati, playing a bad baseball team. You can just keep it going. Instead, they battled, they fought, and that shows you that this team still has fight left in them. Now it's off to Cincinnati for a series with the Reds starting tomorrow. Okay, so where we were going to start our number 2 of the program before we were, I don't want to say rudely interrupted, happily interrupted by what the Diamondbacks were doing and keeping an eye on all of that. Still dealing with the fallout, the ramifications of the Suns and their decision to hire Jordan Ott as their next head coach. The email that was leaked or given out to some media members and reported on from Matt Ishbia to the rest of the Suns front office, the Suns basketball operations. And there's a very clear direction that Matt Ishbia is trying to take the Phoenix Suns. He is choosing to be more hands-on. He is choosing to be more involved. And the way that he wants to be more involved is he wants a unified approach. He wants his coach, his GM, and him to all be on the same page, to all speak the same language. And the way that they have chosen to lean into this is by hiring guys that have ties to Michigan State. Now, I don't think Jordan Ott ultimately got hired because he went to Michigan State. I think he has credentials that warranted him being a finalist and warranted him getting the job. Maybe not as qualified as a Chris Quinn, maybe not as qualified as a Johnny Bryant, maybe not as qualified as a Dave Bliss, but still qualified to be given an interview, to go through this process, to be a finalist, and to ultimately receive the job. But yes, the Michigan State connection hovers over this. You cannot say the same about Brian Gregory. You cannot say the same for somebody who has 0 front office experience. You can very easily say you hired somebody that you were comfortable with. You hired somebody directly because of your ties with them and their ties to the Michigan State University basketball program. And so there is, I don't know if we want, they have the Steeler way, the Patriot way, the Giant way. I don't know if we want to call this the Spartan way, but that is what Matt Ishbia is trying to do. He is trying to build a specific way, a specific direction, a specific order in which things are done. It's a very direct, it's very specific way of doing things. Now, it is not the first time that we have seen a sports team, a sports franchise, a sports program here in this state go outside of the box a little bit, veer off the beaten path, do something incredibly specific. I want to take everybody back to when Arizona State University shared with us their plans for a new leadership model, telling us that the way college sports, in particular college football, had been run wasn't working anymore. It was broken. It needed to be innovative. It needed to change. The college football landscape was changing. The way everybody operated in it also needed to change. And so what Arizona State wanted to bring to the table was a brand new leadership model where they were going to bring in somebody to oversee the roster, the recruiting effort, the bringing in of talent, and then you were going to have a coaching staff that coached that talent. They were bringing the NFL model to college. Matt Ishbia is bringing a college setup in some regards to the pros. And that new leadership model from Arizona State got an eyebrow raised from everybody. Everybody wondered, what are you doing here? Is this really the right thing to do? You're going to hire Herm Edwards? Why did Ray Anderson hire Herm Edwards as his head coach? Well, Ray had a previous relationship with Herm. He was his agent when Herm was a coach in the NFL. So a prior relationship set up this new structure, and it set up who Ray wanted to hire for that structure. Does that sound familiar? When I think of describing this, I think of one of my favorite quotes from a very funny movie, The Interview.
We are same, but different, but still same.
What we are seeing right now with Matt Ishbia and the Phoenix Suns is very similar, but different, but still same as the new leadership model. Because as much as people around ASU, and what I mean by that, people that are fans of the program, that support the program, that are involved in the program, they maybe don't want to admit this, but Ray was on to something. Look at the way sports are going right now. Teams are hiring general managers left and right. Andrew Luck, the GM at Stanford. Teams are hiring GMs to help with the roster building. You have coaches that are being brought in to just focus on the coaching. They were ahead of the curve. Where they got it wrong was in the people that they picked. They had a talented roster. They did a great job of putting together the roster. But then they violated the rules. They picked the wrong people. They picked people who that when it came time to choose the high road or the low road, the right way or the wrong way, they picked some people who chose the wrong way. And they didn't have control over that situation. But they were on to something. And so perhaps Matt Ishbia is on to something. Perhaps this will pan out and he will look smart. Or perhaps he picked the wrong people because he picked people that he was comfortable with. He picked people that he had ties to, that he knew weren't going to stand in the way of what they are trying to do. Because ASU had a very talented roster. And people look back at the new leadership model and they look at it with such disdain for one simple reason. They look at it with disdain because they had the talent. They had Jaden Daniels. They had Brandon Ayuk. They had Ricky Pearsall. They had Chip Trainum, who went to Ohio State. They had a bunch of players on that roster heading into the 2020 season that ended up playing at the NFL level. They had talent all across the board. They did an excellent job of bringing in the talent. They just wasted that talent because they didn't necessarily have the right coaches. They didn't necessarily have the right people in charge. And so the fear from everybody is you're holding on to Devin Booker. You're keeping Devin Booker around. You're retooling around him. The concern that everybody will have is by going in the direction that you are going in, by tying yourself to people that have these Michigan State connections, by tying yourself to people that, let's face it, aren't necessarily perfectly qualified for these roles, are you running the risk of wasting Devin Booker sticking around? This is the argument you hear from all the people who want to trade Devin Booker. Are you going to be good enough in the next couple of years with Book, or are you just going to waste it? You're just going to waste his prime. And I worry that by leaning into this direction that Ishbia is trying to go in, where he doesn't want to be hands-off anymore. He was hands-off in the past, apparently. Now he's going to be more hands-on. And so this quote from the interview applies in a bunch of ways. It applies to Matt Ishbia's now apparently newfound involvement. And it also compares what Matt Ishbia is doing with what ASU tried to do.
We are same, but different, but still same.
Matt Ishbia involvement was at a high level before. He apparently tells us it's going to be different. I think it is still going to be much of the same. And the much of the same that we are going to see, somebody who doesn't make good basketball decisions, who hasn't made good basketball decisions. His resume up to this point is lacking. Just like Brian Gregory's resume up to this point as a general manager is lacking. I won't say that about Jordan Ott. Jordan Ott, the most qualified of the three-headed monster. The most qualified of the three members of the new Spartan way. I hope that this works. I hope that Jordan Ott is a good head coach. I hope that Brian Gregory is a good general manager. I hope that they can nail the Kevin Durant trade. I hope that they can nail the draft, get the good free agents in here, get the right free agents in here, and turn this roster around. But my fear, after what we have heard over the last 24 hours, is that it's just going to be much of the same. Different, but still same. And it is going to be more of making the wrong decisions. Because the person at the top, the person who signs off on all of these decisions, the person who has the final say, is going to be more involved. And the way he was involved in the past was a failure. He was too involved. The things he wanted to be involved in, trading for Kevin Durant, trading for Bradley Beal, they didn't work. So what's to say that it is going to be different this time around? Why? Because you have your buddies around? You have people that you know around? Because you have people that you're more comfortable with around? People that understand the way you want this to go because they also went to Michigan State? If you wanted to do all this, you should have just hired Tom Izzo. You want somebody who perfectly embodies the Michigan State way, the Spartan way? It's Tom Izzo. So if you wanted to do this, you should have pushed all the chips into the middle. But no, here we are. Where you're going to get an unqualified GM. You're going to get a qualified but underqualified compared to the rest head coach. And you're going to have an owner who is unqualified to be involved in the basketball decisions. And maybe he's going to be upset that I said that. Maybe it's going to bother some people that I said that. He is unqualified to make the basketball decisions. Not because I don't think he understands the game. He played the game. He went to Michigan State. He was a walk-on. He understands the game. Because his resume isn't good. He thought Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal would work. It didn't. He thought that Mike Budenholzer would be a good coach. He wasn't. He thought Frank Vogel would work out. It didn't. His resume speaks for itself. When you evaluate a GM or a head coach or a manager in baseball, when you evaluate a coach or a GM, you look at their resume. You look at a GM's draft history. Do they have more hits than misses? Free agency, more hits than misses. Trades, more hits than misses. Do they have a resume that says they know what they are doing, they put together good rosters, and more often than not, they are right? With Matt Ishbia, more often than not, he is wrong. And so the default position that I'm taking now, again, yesterday, super optimistic, glass half full, going to give Jordan Ott all the runway in the world to be the head coach of this basketball team. And I am still going to do that. And I am still going to root for Brian Gregory. But I am going to worry every single time one of them makes a decision that it actually is coming from Matt Ishbia. The good decisions and the bad decisions, all of the decisions I'm going to worry are emanating out of one person's office. Because this organization now needs to land the plane on their biggest move in the last couple of years. They need to now land the plane on trading Kevin Durant. Who's making that decision? Who's determining what they want back for Kevin Durant? What even is the price for Kevin Durant right now? What even is the haul that you are looking to get back for Kevin Durant? And the worst part is that I am now asking this question out loud. Who is setting that price? Who is determining that haul? Who's evaluating the players? Is Brian Gregory evaluating the players and draft picks that they want to bring back in a trade? Or is it Matt Ishbia? Because he apparently is going to be extremely active in decisions and management. Wouldn't he be involved, extremely active in the most important decision that this organization is going to make for the rest of the summer? So get on board, everybody. Get out your green and white pom-poms. Maybe the Suns will have green and white jerseys moving forward because the Phoenix Spartans are here. Whether you like it or not, they are here. And I would love. See, I was thinking about this a lot yesterday. And I've been listening to a lot of different people talk about this and seeing what other people have to say and reading some opinion pieces on it. And I for me, I keep coming back to this. I would not poke fun
The alignment.
and at the Michigan State thing, and I wouldn't make it a big deal if Matt Ishbia had a track record that said it shouldn't be a big deal. If Matt Ishbia had a history of hiring great GMs and hiring great head coaches, and this is the direction that he wants. See, producer Evan, can you do me a favor? Can you look up, this is the most random request I'm ever going to make. Can you, maybe not, can you look up where Pat Riley went to school? Can you tell me the college that Pat Riley went to? Because let's say, for instance, that Eric Spoelstra decided tomorrow he was stepping down as the head coach of the Miami Heat. Burnt out, worn down, needed time off, needed time away, just needed to reset. But right now, basketball is not in his heart. He steps away. And now Pat Riley has to find a brand new basketball coach. Now, producer Evan is giving me a look like he is struggling to figure out where Pat Riley went to school. Is this a bad example that I'm giving, perhaps?
Do you want like where he went to college or where he coached at college?
I want to know where he went to college.
Okay. Give me a second.
You can tell me where he coached in college. It's not going to mean the same thing. Because the apples to apples that I am making is that if Pat Riley decided that whatever college he went to, that he wanted to hire somebody to be the next head coach that also went to that school and was a coach in the NBA, I would have way more trust in Pat Riley doing that than I would Matt Ishbia.
He went to Kentucky.
If he hired John Calipari, I would say, you know what? You're taking a college coach, bringing him to the pros, guy who's coached everywhere, all levels. But I trust you. I trust that if you wanted to get somebody who coached alongside Coach Cal and coached at Kentucky and you wanted to bring that person in, I would trust Pat Riley to do so. He would be given the benefit of the doubt. And I'd be like, yes, you know what? They're aligned.
The alignment.
That's great. Everything's going to be okay. In this instance, I don't trust it because I don't trust Matt Ishbia. I don't trust him to make the right decisions because I don't have a single decision that I can point to that was the right one. Name one. I'll wait. We'll be here all day. There'll be so much dead air, they'll think the station got knocked off the air if I wait for somebody to give me a good decision that Matt Ishbia has made since taking over as the owner. Pat Riley would get the runway. Matt Ishbia does not. He does not get the benefit of the doubt. So Spartan way or not, this is the world we live in. Hopefully, they are able to get this right. Because even though we think that this is going to be a disaster, it doesn't have to be. They can get a good haul for Kevin Durant. Jordan Ott can be a good head coach. Brian Gregory, even if Matt Ishbia is involved, can still make the right decisions. They can still do this. I just don't know how much of a belief we have that that is going to be the case. 480-864-1060 is the phone number. Also want to hear from you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. By the way, no meltdown. Add another day to the counter. No meltdown for Shelby Miller in the ninth inning, so we're good there. When we come back, spent a lot of time talking about Michigan State and Matt Ishbia. Let's talk about the new coach of the Phoenix Suns. What are the Suns getting in Jordan Ott? We'll talk about that next. It's the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The Offspring. Supercharged worldwide in 25. One unforgettable summer night. The Offspring, live in Phoenix. With special guests, Jimmy Eat World and Newfound Glory. Playing Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater August 27th. Get tickets now at livenation.com. 3 great bands. 1 incredible show. Part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
It starts with a simple order. A cold Dos Equis dressed with salt and lime. But for the salt clinging to the bottle and the lime perched on top, this is the luckiest of unions. As if the universe has swiped right, pairing flavors together with a crisp Dos Equis. This is refreshment designed by fate, blessed by destiny, and served by bartenders. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis, imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hear that? That's the sound of a loaded cash explosion. It happens every time someone wins loaded cash explosion scratchers from the Arizona Lottery. Oh, it's happening again. Since tickets are loaded with $1,000 prizes with explosive top prizes of $2.5 million. Plus, a second chance to win $1 million in the Players Club. Head to an Arizona Lottery retailer and play loaded cash explosion scratchers today.
When my wife and I got married after both graduating law school, we didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. Ultima had to give me her gas card just to drive home. We never could have imagined that one day we would have the largest injury firm in the world and $25 billion in money collected and counting. As good Catholics, we had 4 children fast. They all work in the firm today. Our family protecting yours. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. But our greatest gift was years away, grandchildren. Today we have 6 and counting. It's the greatest joy that we have ever experienced. I think about them all day long. Our family promises to protect your family should you need us. Call us. It's easy. Visit forthepeople.com and make sure you hug your grandchildren. God's final gift to us. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
The listeners of this program continue to prove me wrong. Welcome back in the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060. Matthew over on YouTube. Shout out to all the people over on YouTube today. We've got some new people pop in over there. That's what happens when it's the shirt, man. The shirt. It's a good luck shirt. It's doing wonders for us.
It's a big shirt.
Matt says Matt Ishbia's help in rolling out the $2 value menu last year was pretty cool. That's a great point.
I can't argue with that.
I can't. You know, I take back everything. Everything I said in the last segment now completely invalidated because of that point. The $2 value menu is pretty cool. Well, you go to the ballpark, it's $400 to have 2 hot dogs.
No, they have the value dog and the value beer.
Now they do. They didn't before.
Yeah. They still make it hard. Like, you have to find them at certain spots.
Oh, I'll canvas. I don't care. I'll canvas.
Are you a Wetzel's Pretzels guy at the game?
What type of sporting event are we going to? Now, because I will be in attendance, PHX Arena. I don't know how much crossover there is going to be here between what I'm going to on Monday down in PHX Arena and the listeners of this program, but I am going. Monday Night Raw. Wrestling again. I was at wrestling a couple weekends ago at Desert Diamond Arena out in Glendale. I'll be down in PHX Arena, so I will be there. Does the value menu extend to non-Suns events?
Yeah, I think it's an arena thing, right?
So I can't wait to take part in this value menu while I am there.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So you wouldn't get Wetzel's on an event like that?
No, I would consider it.
Okay.
I love Wetzel's pretzels.
I love the cinnamon sugar pretzel.
They just put a Wetzel's pretzels in the Walmart by my house.
Big.
So where I live, it was originally a barbecue place that was in there.
Oh.
And then they took that out and they put the Wetzel's pretzels in there. And they first opened it, lines out the door just for the Wetzel's pretzels. And you have to just wait a little bit. You got to wait like 2 weeks. It dies down. And then you go and experience the new thing in town. Because I live down in Maricopa. And anytime we get anything new, don't go the first 2 days. Just don't. We opened a Carl's Jr. It's as if people had never heard of Carl's Jr. before. I'm like, it's a fast food place that they have everywhere. You can go to one in Tempe. You can go to one in Gilbert. Most of us, I do it. We commute out of town. You can get it at any point. Line out the door onto the street
for the Carl's Jr.
For the Carl's Jr.
Really?
Anything new in town? Like we're getting my favorite grocery store downtown or down in my town.
Trader Joe's.
No, Trader Joe's is good. I'm an Aldi guy.
Okay.
We're getting an Aldi. I'm going to shop there, but I'm going to be a part of just everybody being there the first couple of days. It's going to be brutal.
I'm a big Trader Joe's enthusiast.
Yeah, Trader Joe's is good. Hot take, great grocery store options here in the state of Arizona. Back east.
I don't think that's a hot take.
Back east, I didn't love the grocery store options growing up. You only had a couple.
You have Wegmans?
No, it didn't have Wegmans. Now,
See,
Wegmans.
That's a big one. Wegmans.
Different.
Like, I would take Wegmans over anything we have here.
Like we had Stop and Shop.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Pathmark was one that I had.
Nope.
Yeah, see?
The Acme. You ever been to an Acme?
No. We've got Sprouts. We got Whole Foods.
Yeah, we have the
Whole Foods. Whole
Foods. You get their oysters on Friday?
I don't do fish.
Okay.
But Whole Foods is great. Fries. I said Sprouts already. Trader Joe's. Winco.
You're not a coffee drinker, are you?
No.
Whole Foods has a little cafe in there. Let me tell you. It plays.
John says an Aldi guy, 25 cents for a cart. You get the 25 cents back. You just have to put it in the cart to get the cart. And then when you put the cart back, you get the 25 cents.
Oh, I'm anti-Aldi already.
We in both cars in the house, we refer to it as the Aldi quarter. We have a quarter that sits in the car that can never be used for anything else. It is so that when we get to Aldi, we're not scrambling to find a quarter. Both cars have it.
I would be doing that every time.
Michael says Piggly Wiggly. That's a good one.
I've
you have one of those?
You know what else is a good one? Von Hansen's.
Well, yeah, Von Hansen's Meats and Spirits. Great job. That's being a professional right there. We got to make sure we shout out Von Hansen's. Well, it's a Take Friday tomorrow. We got to get back to doing a Take Friday and giving away some Von Hansen's. We'll do that tomorrow on the program. Real quick, want to touch on what the Suns are getting in Jordan Ott, because in that same story over on PHNX about Matt Ishbia in his email, he also shared some details as to what the Suns saw in Jordan Ott. And they saw somebody who had what they described as a cutting-edge mind on offense, and that the communication stood out. The defensive creativity, work ethic, all stood out. Here's what Gerald Bourguet mentions in his story. Quote, during the interview process with Jordan Ott, Phoenix realized there were a few things they hadn't been doing on the basketball front, which showcased Ott's cutting-edge mind on the offensive end. His communication, defensive creativity, and work ethic have also been highlighted, including his commitment to studying league-wide trends and pathways to implementing them, end quote. So somebody who just stood out in the interview for being great on the offensive end, being extremely cutting edge, good defensively, but offense is his claim to fame, which is somewhat of a surprise considering what we thought this team was leaning towards when all we were talking about
the alignment
was defense, grit, intensity, all of those buzzwords that Brian Gregory used and Matt Ishbia used about effort level and diving for loose balls and just being proud of the team that you see. When you get to the arena, you go with an offensive guy. It feels a little counterintuitive, but that is maybe a check mark in the column of he just stood out in the interview process. This wasn't just about the Michigan State thing. He really did land a home run in the interview process at every single juncture. The other thing that concerns me is Phoenix realized there were a few things they hadn't been doing on the basketball front. Which is our first time running a basketball team. And so now we hire a first-year general manager because now we got new things we need to implement. That tells me that scares me. That scares me. Matt Ishbia, you're supposed to know these things, right? You weren't involved. These things were going on. You didn't know about it. You didn't fix them. Now you are going to fix them.
We are same, but different, but still same.
The more things change, the more things stay the same. That is my fear right now for this team. But when it comes to Jordan Ott, I love hearing that he's got a cutting-edge mind on offense. The communication, we talked a little bit about it yesterday with how he spoke about dealing with the young players in the G League, defensive creativity, work ethic, all good things, all things we wanted to see from this coach. And again, he checks the boxes that we wanted somebody to check that ended up being the next head coach of the Phoenix Suns. I think it's important who he puts on a staff. You want a defensive mind there. You want somebody that's going to challenge these players, that's going to push them to have that high effort level, that's going to push them to have the high basketball IQ, push for them diving for those loose balls and flying all over the place and playing with high energy. You're going to need somebody like that. Ott's going to push those buttons as well, but you need somebody that's going to focus on the defensive side. Maybe this is where David Fizdale sticks around. I would rather you get a veteran coach who has been there before that isn't David Fizdale so that we can get a fresh voice. But if you kept Fizdale around for that role, I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't love it, but I wouldn't hate it. So the Phoenix Suns are getting a young, offensive-minded, cutting edge. It's going to work hard than everybody else. Constantly looking at ways to be better than everybody else in the league, is looking at trends, is looking at things that he can do that makes his team better. And guess what? Where the Suns are at right now, player development is going to be important, but you're going to have to outcoach the other team sometimes. You're going to have to win the X's and O's. And so if Jordan Ott's going to be a real strict X's and O's guy, I'm going to get the most out of this team, I'm going to out-scheme everybody, that's a good thing. It's going to help this team. Build out a really solid staff. Lean on maybe one veteran former NBA head coach to help you. Get some young assistants, maybe some ex-players to help as well. Build out a really robust, complete, we'll use this word.
The alignment.
Aligned coaching staff that can help put this vision into place. Again, if you take out everything else, I like the Jordan Ott hire. It's just really hard to separate the rest of it. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, it is the leftovers, all the stories that we didn't get to, including a breaking story in the NFL. I know that it's at the top of the list of the leftovers because I saw it during the last break. We'll get to that next here. KDUS AM 1060.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Every summer, across the valley, hundreds of our homeless neighbors die because of the heat. This is tragic, and it is preventable. None of us can stop the heat, but together we can save lives. With incredible partners like you, Phoenix Rescue Mission is able to provide life-saving water and critical care to our neighbors in need. Join us this summer and make a difference. Learn more at phoenixrescuemission.org/code red.
Stevie Nicks. One special night, October 7th, PHX Arena. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Stevie Nicks. Live at PHX Arena.
Are you tired of seeing rust stains in your sinks? Call Culligan. Or scrubbing hard water scale buildup from your fixtures. Call Culligan. We can customize whole home solutions to address common water worries found in Phoenix. And now, for a limited time, you can get better water at every tap in your home for $0 down, no payments, and no interest for 6 months. Problem water is no problem for Culligan. Contact your local water expert today. Contaminants may not be in your water. Dealer participation may vary. See dealer for details.
Total Wireless is made to totally keep up with you. We have unlimited data that never slows you down, covered by the Verizon 5G network, and all for less than $30 a month when you get 4 lines. And the best part, we give you a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G when you switch to the 5G Unlimited or 5G Plus Unlimited plan. Visit your local Total Wireless store today. Total Wireless, we're totally with you. Actual speeds may vary by location. For data management practices, see TotalWireless.com.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh, my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Back to close up what has been a very fun edition of the program today. Got to watch a Diamondbacks comeback, break that down. Now we're number 2. Talk a lot more about the Suns and their head coaching search and where we go from here. More on that for sure tomorrow. Want to make sure everyone knows, listen, for your chance to win 4 tickets to the Diamondbacks when they take on the San Diego Padres on Sunday, June 15th at Chase Field. Name a better way to spend Father's Day. We'll wait. Spend a day with Dad at Chase Field and get them the Father's Day polo shirt. Only the first 15,000 dads will receive one. We've got your chance to win 4 tickets for listening on the KDUS AM 1060 app or streaming on KDUS1060.com. Make sure you're registered and logged in while you are listening. Or if you don't win, you can get your tickets over at dbacks.com/SGT. The leftovers, all the stories that we didn't get to on the program. One big one that's floating around social media right now. I'm assuming that's where we'll start.
We will start in the NFL. The 4-time league MVP, Aaron Rodgers, is going to be lacing them up in the orange and the black, in the yellow and the black this year for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
We all knew this was coming, right? Everything was trending towards this. Now, we on this show have said over and over and over again, until he signed there, you can't have an opinion about the Pittsburgh Steelers and be like, oh, they're going to be this. What if Aaron Rodgers, because it's Aaron Rodgers, changes his mind? What if he decides, you know what? I'm good. Now Mason Rudolph's your starting quarterback. So Rodgers, 41 years old, 21st NFL season. And oh, by the way, they start the year against his old team, the New York Jets, in week 1. This note from Tom Pelissaro. Since Ben Roethlisberger retired after the 2021 season, the Steelers have gone 29-22 with 2 playoff appearances while starting 5 quarterbacks. Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, Justin Fields, and Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I don't care what people think. He's better than all 5 today.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
He's better than all 5. I still don't know if their ceiling is any different than what it normally is, which is winning 9 games, maybe 10 games, and being a first-round exit in the playoffs. They're still the third. With this news, they're still the 3rd best team in their own division.
Yeah.
Baltimore and Cincinnati are both better than them.
We'll see what Cincinnati looks like defensively.
Both Baltimore and Cincinnati are better than them. I stand by what I said. He plays both the Jets and the Packers this year, by the way. Week 1 against the Jets, and then week 8 they play the Packers.
Yeah.
So he's going to get to play both of his old teams.
Listen, they're going to be in the playoffs again.
They'll win 9 games as they always do and make the playoffs, yeah.
They'll win 10 games.
And make the playoffs and lose in the first round. Again.
Because immediately your thought is, their schedule's pretty easy.
The Steelers?
Yeah.
Give it to me. Let's a little impromptu win-loss game?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Open the season with the Jets on the road.
Loss.
All right.
Aaron Glenn's going to have that team coached up to win that football game.
Yep, of course. You have Seattle at home.
Win.
Patriots on the road. Be real.
Win.
That's a win.
It's close, but it's a
Vikings at home.
Win.
It's 3-1.
Yeah,
I would have good. All right, Browns at home. Win. Bengals away.
Loss.
So wait, so you're 4-2 now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then Green Bay at home.
Win. If it was on the road, he loses, but he's going to win there.
Colts at home.
Daniel Jones is the starting quarterback because Richardson's dealing with something right now. Win. 6-2.
On the road in LA to play the Chargers.
Loss.
Okay. At home against the Bengals.
Did I have them?
You had them lose in Cincy.
So they'll win this one. So they're 7-3.
7-3. At Chicago to play the Bears.
Give them a loss there.
Okay. 7-4. At home versus the Bills.
Loss.
That's 7-5. On the road in Baltimore.
Loss.
7-6. Miami at home.
Win.
8-6. On the road playing the Lions.
Loss.
So that's 8-7. Browns on the road.
They'll win.
That is 9-7, and then you finish with Baltimore at home.
Loss. 9-8. They win that game. They're 10-7.
Yeah, 10-7.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin will continue to have.
You had them lose the Bears game.
Yes, I did.
You flipped the Bears. You had them lose the Bears game, but win the Vikings.
Right. So you flipped. You have to at one point give them a loss that you don't expect them to get because that's just how it works, just how it goes most of the time. So I gave them the Bears one. I could have easily given them the Vikings one. Again, they're going to win 9 games. Mike Tomlin's going to continue to have an above 500 record. He's going to make them get into the playoffs, and then they're going to go on the road in the first round of the playoffs, and they're going to play somebody that's going to be vastly better than them, and they're going to lose.
There's going to be one game, though, where he throws for like 500. It'll be against Cincinnati.
No, he's not throwing for 500 yards. Yeah. You want to make that bet?
5, obviously, that's an exaggeration.
Well, you said it. I didn't.
But 400, like he's going to throw for 400 against Cincinnati.
I'll take the bet at 400. He won't throw for 400 this season.
Against Cincinnati, he might. Remember, I just want to make this clear that Cincinnati had 3 games last year where they didn't have an off or defensive stop. Right? So they gave up points on every drive. They played Washington last year and gave up a touchdown on every drive except one where they gave up a field goal. And I told people it doesn't get worse than that. And I was wrong because it does by 4 points. But that's it.
I know Cincinnati's defense is a question mark, and they have to figure out what they're doing with Trey Hendrickson.
A question mark?
I was trying to be nice.
It's a gaping hole.
It's bad. It's the thing that will hold them back from being a Super Bowl contender. But do I think Aaron Rodgers still has it in him to have a 400-yard performance no matter who the defense is? No, I do not. No, I do not.
He does. He does.
He's 41. That Achilles is still banged up. You don't heal as easily as you did when you're 30 from an Achilles tear than when you do when you're 39, 38. I'm just not in on Rodgers. The Steelers will the ceiling for the Steelers, the floor for the Steelers remains the same with Mason Rudolph or Aaron Rodgers. How about that for a take?
Yeah, that's
ceiling
insane.
and the floor remain the same.
No. Because, all right, let me ask you this. 2-minute drill. You get the ball back, 2 minutes. You have to beat the Chargers. You got to go 70 yards to beat the Chargers. Who do you want?
Sorry, ask me it one more time.
You got to go 70 yards to beat the Chargers. You have 2 minutes on the clock and a timeout.
Okay.
Rudolph or Rodgers? Who do you want?
I'll take Rodgers.
Okay, the floor's higher.
But, I mean,
floor's higher.
But it's not because last year he had a bunch of those scenarios with the Jets, and they failed. He had like 4 or 5 opportunities with the ball to tie or take the lead, and he went over.
Yeah. But he could get one. And I just want to let you know that Mason Rudolph can't get one.
He could. Mason Rudolph also could get one. He probably won't.
He can't.
I'm just out on this. I'm out.
All right. Next thing. The NBA Finals start tonight. I touched on it in buy or sell. I think it's going to be a Thunder kind of masterclass here. You seem to think Indiana's got a shot in this one.
Thunder in 6.
Oh, okay. So you don't.
I think the Pacers are a good enough basketball team to not be embarrassed, to not get swept. I think they're a deep team. They're well coached. They'll make the necessary adjustments. They have the star power, right? Tyrese Halliburton is a star. I don't want to say superstar. I don't want to say face of the NBA. I'm not getting involved in that discourse. Is he a star that thrives in these types of environments? And that's what you need in order to stay around when you are not the favorite to win a series? Yes, Tyrese Halliburton is that player. So they have that. They have a coach that I think can steal a game or two because of just his coaching pedigree. Are they a deep team that can help them win a game? I still think the Thunder are going to be too much. They're going to be overwhelming, but I like the Thunder in 6. And I think the Pacers stick around in this one.
Found an article on Fox Sports today ranking the top 10 rushing duos in football. And so it's not just running back rooms, it's rushing duos. So the top 3 are pretty predictable.
The Baltimore Ravens
are number 1.
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Number 3.
Number 3. There's a team in between?
Yeah, both running backs. No, both two running backs at number 2.
Two running backs that are on the same team?
Yeah.
Two running backs that are on the same team.
They go by an old video game.
Oh, the Lions.
The Lions
Sonic
are
and
2,
Knuckles.
Eagles 3, 4, another 2 running backs, Bucky Irving and Rashad White. And
That's not bad.
And
Tampa.
Then 5 is the 5 is the Panthers with Hubert and Dowdle. 6 is the Bills. 7, Seattle. 8, Falcons. 9, Washington. 10, Raiders.
That's going to do it for us. A jam-packed edition of the program. Jim Rome's coming up next. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Everybody, have a great rest of your Thursday. We will talk to you tomorrow. See ya!
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.